So it's 4:44 in the morning and I grabbed some coffee to wake myself up, packed my bags, and headed out to go shoot. Also, welcome back to the Studley vlog. Today we are shooting with my buddy Jeremy. He is a super talented photographer and I'll leave a link to his Instagram in the bio. So today we are shooting on a Speedgraphic 4x5 camera, which is a large format camera. So it shoots 4x5 inch negatives. And it's just a huge camera to shoot with and it's a lot of fun. With this camera, you end up shooting only a few shots because you can only have 2 shots in each holder, but it just kind of slows you down and makes you really think through the shot. So here I'm setting up all my settings on my camera and I'm shooting on Portra 400, which I metered at 320. Now the detail from this camera is insane, and 4x5 is about 12 times the size of 35mm, which is just massive. And then I am also shooting with my Leica, as always, with some HP5 metered at 800. So I actually found this camera at a thrift shop. It was in great condition, the leather was really nice, and everything worked. All the shutter speeds were accurate, so I was like, hey, let's use this bad boy. So I'm also shooting on my Contax G2 with some rare film. This is Fuji Industrial 100. This is a film that comes straight from Japan. Actually, in my last video I was shooting with some Superior Premium 400 and my buddy picked this up when he was out there, and big shout out to my buddy Richie for hooking me up. So we're shooting right now off of Mulholland Drive, which is in Malibu, but it's kind of in between Calabasas and Malibu. But there's this abandoned building and I've always driven past it and wanted to take photos. So we stopped by and took some shots. So this is Jeremy. Jeremy is a talented photographer, and we actually met at a photo meetup in downtown LA back before COVID was a thing and you could go and hang out with people. So this is the camera. It has a 135mm 4.7 lens, which is pretty fast for large format. You may look at it and go, oh, 4.7, that's kind of a slow lens compared to what you can shoot on 35mm. But with large format, you have way less depth of field. So with this, you end up shooting at like f/16 half the time so that you can get enough stuff in focus. That would be like shooting at, say, f4 5.6 on a 35mm. So when you're shooting 4x5, because it is such a big camera, it's pretty hard to handhold. With this camera, it is possible, but it's just way easier if you throw it on a tripod. So we started to drive up Stunt Road, which is actually a famous road for street racing over off of Mulholland. And it was about 5:30 in the morning, so the sun was just coming up and the light was just really nice. So I'm using Portra 400. This box of film goes for $54 online, and that's for only 10 sheets of the film. So you're paying about $5.50 per shot plus the cost of development. So it adds up pretty quick, but the quality that you get back from a scan or from the negative is just insane. It just literally blows me away every single time at how amazing and sharp it is. I switched over to a few sheets of film which were HP5, and I metered those at 800, and yeah, they turned out pretty sweet. So we stopped off in Latuna Canyon, which is at the top of Malibu, which overlooks Malibu and Santa Monica, and we took some photos. I didn't get too much video footage from this because I had left my camera in the car. So as we are heading out of the canyon, I noticed this really cool scene where you could see the water and just the mountains kind of were on either side, and it just framed it very nicely. So I pulled off and took a few shots. We drove around a bit and grabbed some coffee, and then we stopped over where I noticed there was a bunch of surfers out surfing. So one of the cool things with this camera is that there's a built-in focal plane shutter as well as a leaf shutter in the front. So if you're shooting with flash, the leaf shutter is amazing, but if you want to get some high-speed shutter speeds, you can use the focal plane shutter, which goes all the way up to 1,000th instead of about, I think it's 400th on the leaf shutter. So you may have noticed that Jeremy took a few shots of me, and he recently just got this Leica M240 and he loves it. It's just a great compact digital camera, and yeah, here's some of the shots he took. So I have shot with this Fuji Industrial 100 before and only shot one roll, but this stuff is just amazing. Every time I've shot with this film straight from Japan, I'm just blown away by how nice and contrasty it is, and just the colors are just amazing. So we ventured over into Beverly Hills, and there's actually a lake there in the middle of Beverly Hills, and it's beautiful. But something super cool is that they film a bunch of TV shows and movies here, and if you've seen the Andy Griffith TV show, the intro where Andy's walking to the lake to go fishing, this was actually filmed right here. So this place is just amazing, except there's one drawback. They have a bunch of cameras set up around the stop signs, so if you ever visit here, make sure that you stop at every single stop sign and wait, or else you'll get a nice ticket, like I happen to get. There's a new front table. Yeah, it's drifting pretty So if you're looking for a cool place to go and have a picnic or just hang out with your friends, this is an awesome spot. We came across all of these baby turtles and stopped and took a few photos. It was pretty crazy because we saw this one and then we looked over and there was just a ton of them, as well as a bunch of fish. So we went over to the smaller lake, which is full of fish and a bunch of koi fish, which is just kind of strange to see because normally it's in like a little small pond, but here it was just open in a lake. But it was pretty cool to see them out in the wild. So after we left Beverly Hills, we headed over into Los Angeles, Hollywood area, and we stopped by Freestyle and picked up some film, and here are a few shots I took on the way there. Thanks for tuning in to today's Studley vlog. I'll be coming out with a few more. Hope you guys are staying safe, and yeah, see you next time.